First, good afternoon, Martha. Good afternoon, Oliver. Thank you both for being a part of Inspire and Connect and being on our little set here. We appreciate it. Let's start with what you guys do. What do the companies do that you represent? Okay. Martha?
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. I'm Martha OSIER, partner with Adenia Partners. Adenia is a private equity firm that has been active in Africa for the past 20 years plus. I lead the East Africa office. And Adenia was founded by entrepreneurs, and today we invest on behalf of institutional investors. Currently, around 60% of our capital comes from development finance institutions. We also have African pension funds in our most recent funds. And lastly, we also have capital from high net worth individuals and foundations. What is different about Adenia, maybe compared to other funds on the continent, is the fact that we are a control-only equity investor. That means if we invest a minimum of, our minimum right now is $20 million, we can go up to around $50 million. Usually this has to convert to a controlling equity stake from day one, and we believe this strategy has allowed us to deliver strong returns to our investors over our history.
Oliver, you're one of the people that give the money, correct? So tell us a little bit about that.
My name is Oliver, so I'm responsible for equity investments in East Africa for Proparco. Proparco is France's development finance institution. We're owned by the French Development Agency, which is itself government-owned. Proparco deploys around 2.5 billion euros annually, and a large part of that is debt investments. We also are an equity investor, and equity investments throughout the world represent $200 million or euros every year. So it's large volumes that we deploy, about 50-50 into funds such as Adenia, and the funds we work with are really key partners whom we've supported for multiple generations of vehicles. And then we also do direct investments. We have a portfolio of about 2 billion active, and we're trying to build markets and invest across asset classes. And that ranges from pre-seed venture capital all the way to large platform deals across the continent.
Martha, how do you decide, when you said we take a controlling interest in these firms, you obviously don't, or you or your colleagues or your partners don't know every business. So when you're taking a controlling interest, it means you're running the company. How do you know that you can run a company better than the people that founded that company? Or do you take them do you allow them to keep running their companies, but just take a controlling share so they're effectively working for you guys?
Yeah. No, very good question, and you're absolutely right. We would probably never be able to run a company that was founded by a family or an entrepreneur as good as they can. So essentially what we do is we back either a management team, which sometimes could comprise family members, or we could bring on board professionals to help, really transform the business. So we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's why we're quite strict in our criteria. But essentially, most of the times, if I think about QuickMart, which is our first investment that we made in Kenya, the entrepreneur, the founder of QuickMart, was very good, and he got QuickMart to 10 stores. And he knew for him to go from 10 to 50, he needed help. He needed somebody else to support him, and not a bank, because at that level, a lot of family businesses, they can access financing from the banks. What is really important, especially when you want to scale or you have a large growth transformation project, is one, to have proper controls. And that is something that we are able to bring on board, whether it's better governance, better systems. We are not shy to invest, whether it's bringing resources, let's say, that are not available locally in terms of expatriates or systems. We are able to bring those resources to bear to make sure that when you expand profitably and sustainably. So that's how we're able to do it. And then Typically, during our due diligence, we work with industry experts. So again, in the case of QuickMart, the chairman of our board has almost, 30 plus years working for multinational grocery companies outside of Kenya, but could very well see the trends and tell us, look, Kenya is where India was, 20, 30 years ago. This is what you can expect. So bringing on board people very early on with us to help us learn about the different sectors and then to play a role during the investment is how we are able to, to partner. Mm-hmm.
Oliver, the investments that you make outside of what you do with Adenia, with other companies, how do you see that business environment? I mean, have you had your fingers burnt with certain investments? In a business environment in this country, many countries in Africa, it's not ideal. Lessons learned, challenges that you have?
Yeah, so we have a portfolio of 20 companies here. 10 of them are startups, 10 of them are larger companies. Our overall portfolio has been pretty resilient in the current environment, but it has been tough. So we have a portfolio which is very focused on the consumer, and that ensures that you're looking for fundamental demand for the things you're making or selling. And in that respect, going forward, I think the closer we could be to staple products, the better, because that's how you ensure ultimate resilience in a difficult environment and a real demand and interest for what you're selling. For example, we see there's an opportunity in that. Right now we see a huge opportunity in food and agribusiness. But it means that for the existing portfolio, we're facing longer working capital cycles. We're facing expensive debt in local currency with interest rates going up, which limits your ability to fund yourself. We're seeing weakening currencies, which impact our dollar returns. And just generally speaking, less consumer buying power. And so we haven't... fingers burnt, not so much, but a difficult trading environment at the moment is for sure.
Returns that you maybe didn't expect or underestimated.
Yeah, and sometimes it just means things take longer. And so in that respect, we're at EFI, we're government-owned. We're an evergreen investor, basically. We don't have a time horizon. And so we'll be here in the companies in which we invest for as long as it takes in order to reach the level we plan to get at.
We could keep chatting forever, but unfortunately we've run out of time. I told you 8 minutes goes by really quickly, but thank you both for joining us.